Roll initiative.
I've been looking for you. Oh, I've been looking for you too. Welcome back. You know, last time, on the DM ScreenSaver, we made ourselves a tavern keeper, an essential NPC, and went through the NPC design process. But the thought occurred to me, tavern keeper's not going to do us much good if he doesn't have a tavern to tavern keep. So, today, we're going to design ourselves a tavern. Let's get to work. I have a couple of things to lay out before we start this video. I hope you remember my little friend Didge from the last video. Didge, say hi. Since we're designing a campaign, we're going to need some heroes to plan this for. Now, you all have your group, but I'm going to make a couple of characters for me to design this campaign around. Having characters to plan for will help enhance the DM process. Now, if your party chooses to take up different character builds than my samples here, don't sweat it, the principles are going to remain the same no matter what. Our 4 heroes in these videos will be as follows. You already met Didge, our tiefling warlock. Then we're going to have Taven, our human monk. Then we're going to have a warforged cleric named Ballista. He'll be a tempest cleric. And last but not least is Validria, our half-elven fighter. She will later specify into the Eldritch Knight fighter subclass. We'll divulge more into their backstories and builds as we go, but for now, the basic introduction will be sufficient. Alright, on to the stuff you came here for. D&D prep. When I make any place of business that I know my PCs are going to be entering, I jot down only a few things, the essentials. Mainly because I like to keep the world feel open. I let the players choose where they're going next, and I don't want to overplan something that they're never going to encounter. That doesn't apply in this case because this is day 1, we are starting the game here, and they have no choice. What is nice about building shops of any kind is that you don't have to make up the inventory. The handbooks will have all that stuff for you and their prices hidden away in the pages. You just gotta find it, put some tabs on the pages, and then you'll just have a quick reference. You should be fine. Now, if you have a Dungeon Master screen, there's going to be a really nice stat block in the top right corner that's going to help us out today. There's a list of prices for drinks and other such food accommodations and things like that at taverns based on how nice or trashy the establishment is. So, let's write down the notes for our tavern. First thing we gotta write down is the name of the place, which is easy. We already made that up in the last video. The Golden Goblet. Check that. Players are kind of like a bunch of chaotic middle-aged moms. They're always going to go straight for the manager. You can plan other employees, but I usually leave that to my random NPC generator if it ever comes up. But we already have our owner of the establishment planned. We have that right there. Lemo, Dronzal Roughtown. Now, I'm going to write down the basic character information for him because the notes of the establishment are going to be on a massive document with all the other shops and such for the city that it's in, so we don't want to oversaturate our notes pages and keep it all where it's supposed to be. Here's a pro tip for you. Railroading is when the Dungeon Master has obviously planned where the players are going to go, and they just feel like they're in a choose-your-own-adventure book with only one option per page. So, a regular book. If your players want to sneak into the basement of the Golden Goblet and rob Dronzal instead of checking out those rumors we planned last video, that is fine. You just have to set the DCs for stealth checks and persuasion checks and all that other stuff, and let them play the game. It's way more fun to go with the flow than to slam players and shove your plot down their throats. They'll find it eventually, just let them enjoy the ride. Pick up on the price range for the Golden Goblet. This is day 1, so we're going to set the money bar pretty low. There we go. Last thing we're going to decide is something I'll typically put in the sessions notes pages, but here's as good a place as any other. We're going to write down any other notable NPCs in this specific place. We talked about in the last video, Rot-Tooth Bandits had stolen something from the local rulers, and those rulers are offering a large reward for its return. To entice the players to head down this road of the adventure, we're going to put an off-duty city guard in the tavern. we're going to want to pick an approachable race for the party since they're level 1, don't want to threaten them, especially with our really imposing tavern keeper as the Dragonborn. We're going to go with the Halfling. Perfect. We're going to do a NPC quick build, name, race, basic age, and additional features that stand out. So for this guy, we're going to name him Barley Knee-High. Gonna write down Halfling, middle-aged, his balding hairline with a little scruffy beard, one eye is blue, one is green. And take a note of when the party meets him, he will be a little tipsy. Not enough to make a conversation difficult or incoherent, but just enough to make it so he'll be easier to talk to than, let's say, the Tavern Keeper. Alright, then when we plan the session notes pages in a later video, we'll decide what information Barley has for Didge, Tevin, Ballista, and Validria. Unlike the Tavern Keeper, this building doesn't take a ton of planning beforehand, but what will make the difference to your players is the amount of detail you describe in the session. The look of the wood the bar is made of, the cleanliness of the glasses they're served, the smell of the room, the sounds of the town through the obviously not soundproof walls. All this bonus detail is key to set the illusion of reality to your players. It will also drown the essential stuff in a sea of extra detail that they'll have to hunt through to find the real story that we have planned.